right. Welcome everyone. My voice is a little difficult to speak, but I'm going to try my best. I'm going to make a video about this question because it's easier than tweeting. This fellow Hadrian Mountain Dew on Twitter or X. It's still twitter.com, so it's still, maybe that's just, I think that's what people should just call it, twitter.com, right? X is the app, but twitter.com is the website. Anyway, he made three very strange claims about the minhag of kaparos. One is, this was in reaction to someone praying the evening prayer at the synagogue side of the Maras Machpelah, of the tomb of the patriarchs in Hebron, which is a shared building that is both a mosque and a synagogue, a masjid and a basic knesses. And so there was a picture of someone who looks like a non-Zionist rabbi, although I guess he has some position in the Israeli government, just like there are Arabs in the Israeli government, praying at the synagogue side of the Maras Machpelah. And it's this way. Which and then they said that this extremist, it was a Palestinian saying this extremist, whatever his name was, I don't remember, and that he was performing Talmudic rituals at the Ibrahimi Mosque, and he broke in also, and so the context was given. This is a place that's sacred to both Muslims and Jews. It's the second most sacred place in Judaism. And this side was the synagogue side. I don't know if they answered this part about Talmudic rituals, but a lot of people have funny ideas about this. I always ask that if they were making salat, if Ma'arib on the masjid side, is it then a hadithic ritual? What does it mean, Talmudic ritual? So this fellow Hadrian, he was making a statement that there's one Talmudic ritual that Westerners would be offended by, and that is kaparos, where a chicken is held over the head, and we recite some Bible verses and then some other ritualistic statements, and then the chicken is slaughtered, and then the meat is given to charity, or money is given to charity instead of the meat, and that's the tradition of kaparos. It's a very controversial tradition in Judaism, but it's been accepted for the most part in the ultra-Orthodox world, that this is an accepted practice. So this Hadrian fellow, he made three claims that are false. One, it's a Talmudic ritual. It may come from the Talmudic era, but there is no mention of it in the Talmud. So that's first of all. The second is from the late Talmudic era, is the earliest that has been found. The second thing is that he claims that the chicken is swung around to be killed, and if it happens to survive, then it's slaughtered. It's not true. It has to be handled in a humane manner, and then it is slaughtered in the kosher way, which is considered to be, according to our tradition, the least painful way to slaughter an animal, which is how all kosher meat is slaughtered. It's just not usually held over the head and circled over the head. And then the third thing he claims is that since the sins are transferred onto this bird, therefore they give it to a goyim, is the way he wrote it. Goyim is plural for nations, or used for Gentiles. So singular be a goy, not a goyim. and this way the Gentile has to eat the Jewish sins. And that's I think, probably the most ridiculous claim of all from this, which I never heard anything along these lines. There's been a lot of controversy on two sides of the kaparos, both the halachic side, and which is also a halachic concern, the animal cruelty side. And we do have to be careful to treat the chickens humanely. There's nothing inhumane about holding a chicken, though, by its wings. That's the typical traditional way any farmer would pick up a chicken, is to hold it by its wings. Just like people say, well, how would you feel if they held your arms behind you? Well, I'm not a chicken. A chicken's wings are different than human's arms. So, not to anthropomorphize the animals too much. A little bit, I guess, doesn't hurt. But it's really no difference with that. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. To swing it violently is prohibited. You don't go around. Zekaparasi, zechlifasi, zemarasi, zekaparasi. Very simple, very. And the idea of actually transferring the sins is a bit superstitious. The more sophisticated look at it among those who permit it, like we said, there are many who prohibit it, is that the chicken, by dying, teaches us humility and to reflect on our own mortality, and then beyond that, you fulfill the mitzvahs of shechita and kisei adam, biblical precepts, and then finally another major biblical precept of charity. And not that there's any actual atonement that is done by this, but rather it's a ritual to help one to feel and to commemorate the ancient sacrifices by using an animal that's not allowed for sacrifice, which means that it's not a sacrifice. And that's the whole story. Of course, again, like I said, there was a lot of controversy, particularly over the superstitious aspects of it, which many of the rabbis said is prohibited over history. But nonetheless, the popular folk culture of it has accepted this, even among those who come from the ancestry of those who would have prohibited it, for the most part, permit it now, and there are those who prohibit it, and there are different customs. And generally, people follow the custom of their community. So that's essentially what I have to share about this custom. And like I said, I usually, the past few years, I've gone to the slaughterhouse to perform this custom. And the one slaughterhouse, they give you a little basket, so you don't actually have to hold the chicken by its wings. You can hold it in a basket and circle the basket over your head, but you don't do anything violent or anything like that. It's chicken is slaughtered in the normal manner, and as all kosher chickens are slaughtered. And that's the whole story. So, thank you for watching. God bless. Please like, share, and subscribe, comment, and we'll see you later. How do I turn this thing off? This one?